Hello world, how's it going? So I'm your boy LRB coming to you with another fish room tour. Here I'm with Dan Rowe, and he's got some very, very beautiful aquascapes going on in here. And you're a chairman of the Minnesota Aquarium Society.
Yeah,
too.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna give us a tour here, aren't you?
Yeah. We'll take a look around.
Awesome. All right, so where should we start here?
Well, why don't we start at the big tank in the house?
Okay, sounds good.
So this is a Fiji Cube. It's a 5-foot aquarium, a little bit of an odd size, but I found one that was a drilled tank and took the overflow off and plumbed up the bottom, and now it's home to a whole bunch of lemon tetras, some geophagus altifrons that are growing out, and a whole lot of different anubias, java ferns, and bulbitis. So as far as filtration, I got a canister filter on the side. I use a couple of LED flood spotlights for the lighting on top. They're 50 watters, and I do a lot of DIY stuff. So I build the stand, I build the little light hangers, and have just kind of done what I can to make it my own touch.
Looks like you got a lot of cory cats in here too, Plecos and whatnot.
Just a couple of cory cats, and those have kind of come from random tanks as I found them. The Plecos are all they call them L144s. I'm not sure if they really are or not. They're yellow with blue eyes, so they're not albinos. They're a little different than that. And I've got a group of 8 or 9 adults in there. They just got moved from another tank, so they haven't bred yet for me, but I'll throw a few of those Pleco caves in there and see what they can do for me.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for the geophagus to get bigger, because they'll eventually top out somewhere around 10, maybe even 12 inches. So they'll need a bigger home eventually. But for now, they get a 100-gallon tank, which I don't think is a bad deal.
No, it's not. And when they do get bigger, they're definitely going to pop, especially with the contrast of the lemon tetras.
Yeah, you see this one here on the... You see he's starting to get his, his streamers.
It's looking really good. Very nice, especially with the light on this side, but he moved. But I've really been enjoying these lemon tetras in here, you guys. I've been looking at it.
So I guess a lot of people are probably wondering about these little ledges going here on the side of the tank. So these are little 3D printed ledges a friend of mine did, and I've tied different types of mosses. Most of it's Christmas moss, and then there's some other types I'm not really sure what they are, but they're kind of cool. Good way that if you don't have, I mean, there is a ton of driftwood in this tank, but if you didn't have driftwood in your tank, you can clamp it on the side, you can put it right up by the top surface, let it grow out. Just gives you another option.
More surface area.
Yeah. Now you don't have to do just moss on them. You could tie any plants that don't need to be rooted in the substrate right to it. You could do, you know, bulbitis, ferns, anubias on it. You could even do some like the Hygrophila pinnatophyta.
Yeah, pretty much any plant that doesn't need substrate, like the Aereo we just saw at Brian's.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got that just rooted on rocks. So
yeah.
For me, I do them mostly moss, and that's cool for me because I just made a whole bunch of these new, but you let them grow out for a while and you get like a pillow of moss, and then you just trim it back and make another one.
Nice. Pleco likes it.
Yeah, doing a little surfing up there.
I absolutely love this Metaframe Tank over here.
Yeah, so I was very lucky to come across that at a garage sale. I actually found, so this one's a 20 high, and I also have a 15-gallon version that's sitting on the floor empty, sadly. But kind of wanted to do this one old school. So right now it's mostly a plant rehab tank, so I'm taking stuff that either I didn't have room for elsewhere or I'm trying to grow out. But the goal is to kind of do this, if any of you guys have seen the Dutch style of aquariums where you've got alleys of different plants. So we'll be doing that eventually. I think it's so cool to have a tank that's got a slate bottom to it. You know?
Yes.
I don't know if it's from the 50s, 60s, 70s. I don't know how you know what year it is, but I put it on a metal stand to try to match the look, and then I use the open area down below just to kind of store the extra rocks that I use in aquascaping. Very
beautiful. Yeah, you're going with the old T5s, right?
Oh yeah, I got a quad T5 in there. Nice. Now,
what you guys know about T5s? Let me know in the comments. But yes, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was going to say, I think I'm going to take your advice and try to mix up the colors a little bit, see if I can get stuff to pop a bit more, because it's all daylight bulbs right now. But used to use T5s on a high-tech 75 I had a few years back, and I had mixed colors there, and for me it worked out great. Got some long fin Plecos in there.
Beautiful.
Hoping to get them to breed up in the cave eventually. And also some little cross hybrid endlers swimming around. They're lime green and black bar cross, so nothing fancy, but I like the movement. It's cool to see.
Yes.
Lots of fry in there.
Next here to the big tank.
Yeah, moving over here, we've got this is all these tanks. Well, 4 of the 5 on this little setup here are all UNS rimless tanks. And as you can tell, looking around the room, that I tend to favor the rimless tanks for the seamless look. I got to deal with evaporation, and yeah, that's a little bit of a thing. But in general, you know, what I'm getting out of the extra look is worth the evaporation for me. So this tank is a work in progress. It's all pearlweed in here, and it's growing. It's taken a little while, but what I'm doing is, as I trim long stems, I plant them in the front. And so this started with the back, just a couple inches with pearlweed, and over the last 3 weeks or so, I've been moving it forward and forward and forward. So eventually it'll look like a shrub, just a hedge for all the cherry shrimp that are in there.
That'll be cool.
And there are a lot. You can only see a few on camera, but I bet you there are probably 150 in there.
What kind of light you have on there?
That one's a Chihiros, which is a Chinese brand light. It's the Chihiros RGB. They're cool. Give you the ability to dim it. I've got it dialed up all the way to try to maximize plant growth going on, but they're not too terribly costly. When you do order, I usually get them off of eBay, and you do have to wait a little while to get them with the shipping. But I'd recommend them to somebody wanting to try out a sleek light that's got, you know, some little risers. Right next to it, we've got the first of 3 of the UNS 5Ns. I've just got some temporary lights on there for now, just some beams work sticking on the top. Trying to find a permanent solution that's going to look pretty sleek, but we've got lava rock in there, some black lava rock, a carpet of hair grass, and it's all on top of some aqua soil. Trying 80A in this one just because it's what I had a bag of lying around. No stock in this one, not yet.
Any plans?
It's going to be shrimp.
All right, what kind? Do you know?
I don't know yet. I'm, you know, we're down in the basement, so this is an unheated area, and I'm trying to save on not plugging stuff in all the time. And
well, luckily shrimp don't mind the chili.
I know, that's going to make it real easy.
Yes. And next to it?
Next to it, we just kind of got a minimalist scape. It's all Anubias, Boos, ferns, moss on some manzanita and Sirius stone. I'm thinking, I was looking at those zebra babalti shrimp. You ever heard of those?
Yeah. You don't see them very often though.
No, I think...
Never seen like somebody keeping a colony of them.
Hoping I can find somebody local that would be able to pick those up from.
I got a clue.
Maybe a certain Mr. Joe?
Well, yeah, Mr. Joe Shrimp Shack. And no, you can't get reservations for a table at Joe's Shrimp Shack. Alright, next to it.
So the last one is probably my new escape, and this has been set up just in the last couple of days here. I'm waiting on some plants to fill in. There'll be probably take some of the hair grass from that other carpet and move it over here. Just a temporary light on it to keep the plants alive, and some Java moss. So I took a whole bunch of manzanita pieces, and I've either super glued or strapped them together. But you'll see there's some rocks in there still holding them down because they're still pretty buoyant. I don't think it'll take too long before they sink.
Nice. Next to it.
And the last one here, I don't know what size tank this is. It's a weird dimension brand I hadn't really heard of before called Aqua Japan. But this is my collectoritis tank.
Ah.
If anything's got a name, it's
now you're speaking my language.
It's probably this one. So it's got some pretty common species and also some very unusual ones as you're looking through. You know, you got more common stuff like super red mini Ludwigias. You've got green Myrio, just kind of the back center, and then a couple of other types of Ludwigia around, and then some stuff that frankly I hadn't heard of until somebody else in our club brought it in. Over on the left, you've got the Star Gynie Spath Elata, and it's a lot bigger than a lot of the other Star Gynies that you see. You know, everybody thinks of repens or repens, and you know, this definitely grows a little bit taller. Stocking wise, in
that's
this,
the same plant too, right?
no, that's a different one. That one's called Limnophila rugosa. It's kind of like I like to describe it as water basil.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's hardy.
Yeah.
It grows really well. It takes a while to get established, but once it does, like I hacked it back and got rid of the bottom parts of it, but the top, it's great getting those big leaves with the veins in them, so you can see them really well. And finishing off the collection, it's a small fish room, but I like the way it is my Shelley Tank. So Neolamprologus multifasciatus. I've got a colony in there, a couple of pairs, and probably 3 generations at this point. It's something I just kind of came upon, and frankly, Lucas, I saw that you had them too, and they're really cool. So just get the some escargot shells, throw them in there with some light colored sand, and let them do their thing. It's fun to watch them play, dart in and out of the shells. Super low maintenance.
Yeah.
Some of the best parenting families you'll see out there.
Yeah. Sweet. Look what I found over here. What's this?
We got some of the longfin offspring that are going to the auction tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just sitting in a breeder box. I kind of had to tear up the big tank to get at them because they hide in all the nooks and crannies, but we were able to put it back together again to show you guys what we got going on here. So, 12 of them going to the auction tomorrow.
Nice.
Hopefully somebody...
That's smart. I like how you did that. So you got a little space to prep them.
Yeah. It just
but you don't need a whole tank to do so, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
And, yeah, you got auctions going on at the Missouri Aquarium Society, huh? You got an expo that you guys do too, right?
Yeah, we're having that March 21st coming up here in Minneapolis. We'll be at Augsburg University. It's going to be a one-day event. We kind of hope we can get some of the local people to come out. We had a great turnout last year. I want to say they were thinking almost 1,000 people came through the door in that one-day event.
Wow.
So,
and you guys break it down into different sections. Like you have a rainbow fish section.
Yep.
That I love. So what do you tell me about that?
So it's actually more than just fish on display. So we got fish on display. The university there has got saltwater tanks in their classrooms, and they graciously let us use a couple of their labs. So we set up islands to show off all different types of cichlids, different types of rainbow fish, angels, discus, community tanks, all the different types of shrimp. I mean, you name it, we'll have it there, so you can come out and see and talk to some people and learn about it. But beyond just looking at fish, we've got 2 different rooms that are going to be doing presentations on filtration, on lighting, on aquascaping all day long. So you can come check out and learn something new from some of the local people that have been really involved. And then I think the last part of it, and maybe the most important for some people, we're going to have a marketplace. So if you want to come in, find some plants, find some tanks, find some shrimp, find some fish, take them home.
Locally bred, locally
bred.
kept.
Yep, all from local companies here.
Very nice.
Hobbyists turn pro.
And you guys got a website too, right? So you can check out all this info?
Yeah, you can check it out, aquarium.mn. So if you want to see photos from last year, just do /2019 on the end. You can see an event recap. There's several videos, tons of photos, and you can see our lineup should be posted for the 2020 event pretty shortly.
Awesome. All right, so there you have it. There's Dan's Fish Room Tour. And you mentioned Jimmy, I think. Who did a...
Well, we had Jimmy, Corey, and Joel up here a couple of years ago now, and the fish room's really changed a lot since then. If you want to see what it looked like before, I'd definitely go look for their videos. I think Jimmy was the one who got video of the tour in here. But I used to have wall to wall behind you was a double high rack of aquariums, pretty big, like 40s, 120s. Got to be a little too much for me to manage on a day-to-day basis, so I ended up going down, and part of the deal was I get this portion of the basement to do whatever I want, but it's got to incorporate into the rest of the room. So I think I met that goal.
Well, very cool, very cool. I enjoy the tour. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me up here to speak with you guys and for taking me around to see some fish rooms and meet some awesome people.
Yeah, I'm glad we could have you up here. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, awesome. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, please hit the like button. That'd be great. And subscribe if you haven't, because there's all kinds of cool stuff constantly coming up, going on all kinds of aquarium adventures. And yeah, till next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one. And don't forget to check out Minnesota Aquarium Society.